Hello everyone, I am Tacet and welcome to the Gems of War raid stream, week 20, day 7. So, of course, today we're mainly going to be going and finishing up the Vault event. Also want to, of course, go over everything that's coming out next week. Just need to get the little window thingy set up. Let's see, where'd it go? I believe this was the right one, yes it is. Everything looks situated. Bring that right over there. Drag that down. And there we go. Okay, let me just get it into the capture of our view. And then we can go over. Also, I'll be doing some Nintendo Switch stuff a little bit later this stream. Basic main goal is keep doing Vault Keys until we ideally get 25k gems. And then switch over to the Nintendo Switch version and finish out that kind of stuff. Where's my window capture thing? There it is. Why is it being weird right now? Of course, whenever I need it, it always wants to not work. There we go. Anyways, so this thing, it destroys a row and column. It knocks the first, or one of the first two enemies to the back. So this is another one of those random factor kind of troops. These kind of movement troops generally are a little bit better because they're a lot less predictable. A lot of them are still not really that viable just because everything else that they do isn't really that good. Though troops like this could potentially be okay in the future, especially if they start adding it to better mechanic-related troops. And then it deals damage to the first two enemies, and keep in mind that this is after the move, not before the move, and is boosted based on the green gems destroyed. And as far as his boost ratio, that is a boost ratio of... I hate that they don't show it on this page. That is a boost ratio of 4 times. Whoa, that was actually way bigger than I thought it would be. So for every single green that it ends up destroying within its path, that's, wow, that's better than, Elwyn then. That's basically a better version of Elwyn, kind of. Except Elwyn does it to 4 troops, whereas this thing only does it to 2. But for an ultra rare, that is actually pretty solid. It even has 25% spell reduction, 20% dodge. Never mind, this trip's actually not that bad. Not really something you would use in endgame, but, yeah, there's a 4 times boost ratio per green destroyed, so if it destroys something like 5 green, that is 20 additional damage. And by 20 additional damage, I technically mean 40 additional damage, because of course it hits 2 enemies, not 1. So it technically has a 1 higher boost ratio than Elwyn in a way, because Elwyn has a 7 times boost ratio, but it's only 7 times, whereas this thing is hitting 2 things, so even though it has a 4 times boost ratio, it is kind of like an 8 times, because you're essentially getting 8 damage per green that you destroy with it. So that could potentially be good. It is physical damage and not true damage though. So is Elwyn, but so it's going to be only kind of average. But as an early game, mid game kind of thing, sounds like it could be pretty solid. I don't really foresee myself using it much just because it's the same color as Rope Dart, and obviously you would just use Rope Dart if you had it. But interesting troop nonetheless. That's the one you'll be able to get through Glory, and you'll also be able to stock up on a bunch of yellow-blue trait stones if you end up needing them for anything. And other than that, we have this right over here. So this is the legend that's going to be in the event key drop table. We haven't gotten a legend in the event key drop table for quite some time now, but we are getting this thing. Unfortunately, they keep adding spell reduction to all these things. That's both good and bad. It's nice to see it more. However, the more spell reduction is in the game, the harder Explorer actually becomes to quick farm. So we'll see how that really affects it over time. So quick farm Explorer might not be as possible into the future, though of course we are getting higher bonuses on kingdoms. So even though we're getting 25% spell reductions on things, the amount of overall damage we're doing also ends up increasing over time. Anyways, as far as this thing, it deals damage to all enemies boosted by Fae and allies and enemies. That is at a 5 times boost ratio. Unfortunately, it itself is not a Fae, it is a Wild Folk Mystic. So it does not automatically get 5 damage for itself. However, any of your allies and any of your enemies that are Fae, it will end up getting that boost ratio off of. There's a 20% chance that it transforms a random enemy into a pixie, which is that random thing that Fairy fires off an extra turn. So not really anything too worrisome if it ends up getting converted. But overall, I'd say this troop is pretty average. It does have a 50% chance to Fairy fire a random enemy at the start of every single turn. It does have Arcane, which is pretty decent on anything that does full AoE like this. Queen Map also has it in a few others. But overall, it's probably not going to be used much just because it has absolutely no board control whatsoever. Its transform rate is way too low. It does have a summon attached to it, which I guess could make it okay. But it reminds me like Christinex without the board control, basically. So I don't really feel like it's going to be used for much. It might be used in 4x Wild Folk team, especially since you can use it as with Bard, since it's both a Wild Folk and a yellow. But other than that, I don't really think it's going to go into any kind of team. And it's also somewhat okay with Luna, which I believe is... What color is Luna? Isn't Luna green, yellow? I actually forget what color Luna is, but I believe it has decent synergy with Luna from the same kingdom as well. But overall, just pretty average. And those are the 2 troops we're getting. Also, while we're already on here, I might as well go bring this up too. Let me see, where is the tab for it? Let me go bring up the Mythic that's coming out this Friday. Actually, I might as well go over the Mythic and the thingy thing. So let me just drag this all the way over here then. Can you guys see that now? Yes, you can. Okay, so 2 things I want to go show real quick as well. This Friday, we are getting the worst Mythic in the game, unless they're planning on buffing it sometime between now and Friday. But as it currently stands, it is useless. Let's see, let's zoom in a little bit so it's easier to see. Of course, it's from Grashnak Kingdom, so it's staying with tradition of keeping that kingdom to have the worst Mythic in the game, so at least they're keeping consistent with that. It deals magic plus 5 damage to an enemy, which is very low, boosted by red allies at a 4x boost ratio, and it's also based on skulls, which is also very low. That's at max is only going to be like 15 or so, which is only about, 60 additional damage, which means it would hit something like a 90. At most, and that is ridiculously low for just a Mythic doing a single hit off of 24 with no board control. And if the enemy ends up dying, it summons 2 Fists of Zorns. These are somewhat useless because they did not summon with their Empower trait. If they were to make it so it does that, it would be somewhat more okay, but even then it would still be pretty underwhelming. It does have Stealthy, which I guess is okay. It actually has something that is a negative trait on it, oddly enough. It has Undying. The reason why this is negative is you want to poison this troop, but I guess you'll just have to bleed it instead. But that's mainly because whenever it takes damage, it gains 4 mana back, which could theoretically have been really good if its ability was good and if it didn't have immune to poison. But it doesn't have immune to bleed, so I guess you can kind of do it that way. But overall, this Mythic is arguably the worst Mythic in the entire game as soon as it comes out next Friday. So probably worth skipping, as it is pretty bad. I'll still be getting it just for completion's sake. And if you have more than half the Mythics in the game, you'll probably still want to get it for completion's sake. Other than that, the troop itself, you'll never actually use other than for obtaining it, just for the sake of obtaining it. Anyways, we'll still do teams and stuff for it. One other thing I want to go over real quick, and that is the new hero class. We're also getting a new hero class this Friday. Unlike the Mythic, though, this one is actually useful. So we're getting the Merfolk hero class from what's it called? Merlantis. This has really good synergy within the kingdom because almost the entirety of the kingdom are merfolks, and some of them are pretty decent, like Azura, Undyne, and stuff like that. As far as its weapon, it deals magic plus 5 heavy splash, which is that 75% damage splash, to an enemy boosted by blue allies at a 4x boost ratio, as well as enemies. And if the enemy dies, it gives 3 magic to all allies and submerges them. So that could potentially be okay in Blue Guild Wars to defend, though I think in late game that won't be enough damage. But for early and mid game, it could be an okay weapon for Blue Day if you lack other options to put there. It's kind of weird how Blue Day defends. You tend to use blues on Blue Day's defense because of Undyne and everything, and now this weapon. It's kind of weird how that is, but you almost use 4x blue just to counter 4x blue. Really weird how it is. This thing is somewhat like the Frost Mage hero class, except it's going to have heavier Submerge at the cost of having less freeze. So it does have the Water Tree, which is most noteworthy for the fact that it has a bunch of Submerge, as well as freeze at the start of battle, which is pretty strong. It does have Life Tree, which has a few different ways to get more HP onto your hero as well as the rest of your team. That's about the only thing it's really used for. I believe it has one Fairy Fire option too, which definitely wouldn't be too bad if it fits on the right perk. And Arcane, which is mainly just going to be used for the half mana start, and that's pretty much it, I believe, for the most part. But other than that, it does have a pretty interesting third trait. It's something that not Titan Tree. It's something that Storm Tree would normally have, but in a slightly different way. It explodes a blue gem whenever it matches 4x or 5x gems. So basically, every extra turn you do, it'll explode a blue gem, similar to how that other trait, whenever you get an extra turn, will explode a yellow. This is the exact same thing, except it does it for blue. So it's basically the exact same thing, essentially. It's just on the traits itself rather than on the perks. Unfortunately, it does not have Storm Tree, so it doesn't get 2 explosions, just 1. It's not like a, what's it called? What's his name? It's not like a Possessed King, unfortunately. Where it could have been, but they didn't end up making it like that. It does have a unique trait that no other troop currently has, though they might add it to some other stuff in the future. It has Aquatic Submerge, which ends up submerging itself whenever it ends up receiving damage. So this will be able to stack pretty nicely with the fact that it already has quite a bit of Submerge off of the Water Tree. So it will be interesting to see how that pans out. So literally anytime it takes damage, it gains Submerge. So it's going to be a great way to try to dodge damage, and it will make it overall the best submerging troop in the game pretty much. At least definitely the best submerging hero class as far as that is concerned. So this would be a pretty good 3rd slot, 4th slot kind of troop, especially since Arcane Tree has extra magic if you put it in last slot. So probably a last slot kind of troop based on how these traits are set up. Last or 3rd is generally where this hero class is going to be used, and it's not too bad. Has half mana start, has mana generation, has the highest amount of submerge in the game, and has freeze at start of battle, and a few other things. But that all in combination is not too bad of a combo. It's definitely not the next Titan, but it's probably near top 5 hero classes. Not exactly sure if it would be top 5, but it's pretty close. And definitely a hero class that you might want to consider leveling. Anyways, that's all that. Go and just move this back to the main menu in case I need it for anything else. Move that over. There's my tabs. I have too many tabs open. Move that over there. Why aren't you going back in? There we go. Okay, so where were we? Let me go read chat and go back to everything else that we were doing. Move this over. Okay, anyways. I'd like to see chat again. Hello, Alan. Hello, DeCrio. Hello, Dizen. Hello, William. Hello, Steve. Hello, Raven. Hello, Skeleton King. You got 23 keys so far. We're only at 7. Let's see. Hello, Pedro. Hello, David. Your free weekend is paying off. I know, right? Wow. Oh, Luna's yellow-green. That still ends up working. Yeah, that ends up working. That's the color I thought it was. So blue-purple with a yellow-green. Or sorry, I mean a yellow-purple with a yellow-green. That would end up working. And then King Salinas is yellow-red. And then you just set your weapon to something else that's not overlapping any of those. That also uses yellow. That actually wouldn't be too bad then. We might need to mess around with that next week. Hello, Kevin. Hello, G-Man. Hello, Raven. Hello, Jan. Hello, Haley. And hello, everyone else. Welcome. I know, the new Magikarp looks pretty cool. They made it a shiny Magikarp this time. Both from the same kingdom. Anyways, where was I? I need to go get some gems is what we need to go do. So I guess we'll go to Zejin and farm a little bit more. Ideally, we'll just randomly get a vault key and be able to cover that final gap. Technically, we've already reached it because I spent 50 gems to get the dungeons done. So in theory, we technically already reached 25,000 gems. But I still want to reach it, I guess. Just to make sure we keep that number high. I'll throw that down. We'll see how far we'll actually go with it. If I'm not mistaken, I didn't even finish out PvP yet either, so I should probably go do that actually. And farm it up that way. Let me see. Have I actually not finished out PvP? I don't think I did. I meant to do it earlier this week and then didn't. Also, my defend team is so weird right now. Oh yeah, well, let's go do that then. Let's go farm gnomes that way then. Wow, I haven't actually finished out PvP. Well then. That we definitely need to go do. Where's my key team these days? That for some gold farming. So we're trying to get Shame in the max level as well. Ideally by the time we get the next hero class. So by this Friday if we can. Not absolutely mandatory that we do, but the only reason I'm really using Shaman right now is because it's the only hero class we don't have max. That has half mana start. But starting Friday, I'm going to start using the new hero class for that, the Merlantis. So yeah, I'll be switching over. Okay, move that over. Haha, maybe that troop that submerges, that's funny. Maybe the troop that submerges, or that devours submerge allies might actually become good after that hero class. I don't think so. Submerge isn't going to become that big a mechanic. It's still a relatively underwhelming mechanic. Oh, all we got was 1,000 souls, really? Egyptus. Okay, we'll just take the 3 trophies. Ideally, we'll just keep taking 3 trophies. I should probably switch over to Essence of Evil team if we're going to try actually taking 3 trophies each time. Or something else that's similar that can actually kill quickly. Like a Yagoi Queen of Tanya team. I haven't used that for a while. I'll be using it a lot once I finally get it on my Nintendo Switch account. I'll be opening a bunch of keys likely this Friday for it. Hello, Captain! Welcome! Alright, let me grab our gold. That should be enough to kill both of them. And then we just do that again, and that'll be another double kill. So we'll throw that down, get the last little bit of our mana, throw a key down again. Let them do whatever. Throw a key, and there we go. Gets banned out of it. Move that over. Get her destroy again. And he's dead. There we go. Hello, Original. Welcome. Kind of funny. I need to do PvP on this account, and then I'm going to need to do PvP on the other account. as we switch over to it. I'm actually gonna take one trophy here. The other two look too annoying. One is giants with a lot of HP, and the other one's just a annoying 3 trophy. Oh, why'd I do that? I could have gotten double gold immediately. Whoops. Oh, we'll break the barrier with that. Stats are low enough that we can just key to key without even having max gold. Let's do that. Throw the other one in there. And there's that. There we go. Okay, next one. Super easy battle or other super easy battle. Take the mid-range one. Maybe I should go bring out the World Breaker team real quick and just stick to 2 trophies. This is a fun, quick team to run. It also has room to be able to put the event troop on it if it was something like 400 gold. Actually, is it plus 400 gold right now? I should forget if it is. I don't think it was. I should forget what the troop even was this week. Let me go double check. Was it gold or glory or souls? Well, it has to be one of the 3. Let me go double check. Let's throw it into key edit. Go from there. Let me go double check. What was the event troop this week? It was this gold, then I believe it actually out golds if you put a plus 400 there rather than Cedric. Let me see. It was glory. Still a good resource. Let me see. We'll take out this battle. Let me go switch one of my teams to. I don't even have anything set up to it, do I? Plus 5 glory for this event. We'll switch that to the World Breaker team. So what's everything we need for this? We need World Breaker. We need heroes set to anything with half mana start. We need Cedric. And we need a mana generator. Do we sacrifice the 4 glory? Or 5 glory, I mean? I guess we do. And we put a leprechaun there. We'll sacrifice it. There we go. Okay. And banner we'll just set to a plus 2 green. Don't need anything too fancy. Actually, then again, plus 2 green kind of denies it out some, doesn't it? I guess even what we currently have is fine. Plus 2 yellow. I don't think there's any minuses. Actually, yes, there is a minus that would still be viable. Go plus 2 green, plus 1 yellow. There we go. Mix of both of those two. And we'll just roll with that. Let's see. It's not plus 5 glory anymore. We'll just call it quick mid PvP with a bunch of gold. Oops, I'm currently using mech. That's not what I want. Where is Shaman? There we go. That should be fine now. So, Mountain Crusher, Wordbreaker, Leprechaun, and Cedric. And either one of those 2 could be replaced with the event troop if you really wanted to. And we basically just cast Wordbreaker a few times and win. So would ever get mana. Submerge would be really annoying against this though. Like if we had to face it. Luckily that hero class doesn't exist yet, so no one's really running a Submerge spam. But then again, this might only be viable for like another week, now that I think about it. Because if everyone starts, at least for the next month or so, because if everyone's starting to just randomly run the new hero class that's coming out next Friday, it's gonna be so annoying for stuff like Wordbreaker to do anything. These half the battles are just gonna have Submerge on them. Which makes his ability do nothing. But in other instances, it works out pretty well. Now, we do get pretty close to max capacity gold for most of these battles. It generally isn't absolute max capacity, but it gets pretty close. And this one actually does look like it's going to reach max. And he's dead. Yeah, that's basically what a Wordbreaker team looks like. I just realized, you're supposed to put Bronze Lock Pistol in there, not Mountain Crusher. It does work with Mountain Crusher though. But I forgot, that's actually the wrong weapon. That's the right weapon for this. That's the whole reason why we even have Cedric, is to use that for more destroy. And with that being the case, I guess we'll switch back to a plus 2 green then. And again, I don't know, that kind of works out. You know what, maybe we'll keep it at -1. It's actually not too bad. See how it goes. It's gonna be weird because we're gonna be like 1 off on Bronze Lock at some point. But I don't know, it shouldn't be too big a deal. It starts with half mana and we get it up pretty much instantly anyways. But the reason for Bronze Lock there is just because it can do stuff like that. Get our mana going, and actually gets overall more mana than Wordbreaker because it destroys rather than explode. As soon as we reach like 120 plus gold, it actually does more than what a Mountain Crusher would do, at least from a mana standpoint. So it also ends up clearing the board too, so once we reach that high of a gold. I'll throw that down, get a kill. And it is ward breaker to ward breaker, and that's match. If hero dies, it dies. Doesn't make any difference. Oh, that better not get a summon. Don't you dare. No. We're gonna need to hit it a few times now. We technically do have a backup summon if we need. We can keep resummoning Browns that just died from the team. If we truly needed to. Obviously, we don't really need to in this battle, but it does have a way to kind of get your team back up. As a last resort kind of thing. Yeah, Bronze Lock Pistol is a lot of fun. It's a really, really strong weapon. It's not too meta at the moment, but it could theoretically be in the future. What we really need for it to be good is a half mana start hero class that has 3 times burning, because this weapon burns the first enemy every single time it casts. It burns the first enemy every cast. So if we ever get a triple burning that has half mana start, it would be good. Mechanist used to be able to do that, but then they changed it like a few weeks after the hero class ended up coming into the game. Or, you know, when they end up adding the whole hero class perk system thing. But, yeah, if they ever add a hero class again that has half mana start with triple to burning, it'll be really insanely good with Bronze Lock Pistol. It's still a decent weapon. Just that would make it to the point where it would actually be pretty broken. Oh, I thought that was an extra turn. I don't know why. I'll grab that for gold. Get our word breaker down. That should be match. And worst comes to worst, if they do resummon, since we are using Bronze Lock, we just keep poking it for about 30 damage or so. It's not a lot of damage, but if you keep poking it, ends up adding up over time. Yeah, this is one of the best gold farming teams in the game. I don't personally use it too often because I do prefer Key Team. But it's one of the few teams where Word Breaker is actually the most meta option for this slot. In most other instances, using something like Infernus or something else generally is better than Word Breaker, but this is one of the few instances where Word Breaker is actually better than any other option. At least in the context of the team. And it's dead off of Bronze Lock. Actually, it's dead off of this explosion. Yep, it dies off of the little bit explosion. I took that way just because it gives slightly more gold. I believe that gives 20, whereas our weapon gives like 10 or something. How much does that even give? Gives how much does a perk give? It gets it off the perk, which I believe is 10. I'm pretty sure the perk is 10. 100% for 10 gold, right? Yeah, 10 gold. Whereas Leprechaun gives 20. What's next week's event troop? We went over at the beginning of the stream. It's basically like Rope Dart, but weaker. But as a troop, kind of. Not exactly. But it's themed somewhat like that, kind of. It basically moves a random enemy from the front and then does damage to the first 2 enemies. Has a really good boost ratio. Actually a better boost ratio than Elwyn, while also doing a plus shape destroy. It's basically a new Elwyn, essentially. What kingdom? It's Pan's Veil. With yellow-blue being available as the Arcane. Jar of Eye. Haven't been seeing many Jar of Eyes recently. Ever since Essence of Evil came into the game, Jar of Eyes has almost never been used. Because Essence of Evil is generally better. Down Crusher was already generally better than this weapon, but now that they added Essence of Evil, you almost never really use this unless you really need to summon for whatever reason. Also, hopefully Salty will spoil some 4.4 info next Monday. Because there's a lot of interesting things to talk about in next patch. Well, maybe not a lot, but enough that they haven't showed many yet. The only thing we know is the thing that they spoiled yesterday, which was Elite Battles. Which basically allows you to use multiple sigils for extra stats, essentially. Did he really just win? What are you doing? Not nice. You know what, we can still technically win, let me try. Never mind, he's just gonna... Wow, we actually lose to Jar of Eyes of all things. Because he's just gonna repeat spam the summon. Fail. Well then. It's the only bad thing about this team. I can't move Leprechaun or Cedric in front of our Ward Breaker or blocks mana. It would make it safer if I did. That's one of the reasons why you normally use a tankier hero class there. Hero class obviously is not meant for first slot, but I need the EXP. So we're just gonna have to deal with it. But obviously you wouldn't, optimally you wouldn't be using Shaman Hero class with this setup. You would be using either Hero class that has triple damage on burning, on skulls, or you'd be using anything that can tank. And his Hero class is neither of those two things. But we still get 2 XP per battle. How am I doing? I am doing really good. Thanks for asking. Should you craft World Breaker today or wait for Ketris? Of the two, Ketris is probably better. Even though I'm literally using World Breaker right now. It's like one of the only few teams in the entire game that World Breaker really gets used for. Assuming you have other options. Though it can be used just generally, but I don't know. With World Breaker, or with the new hero class that's coming out next Friday, World Breaker is going to be a lot less desirable, just in general, because of these whole submerge spam. So I would just wait for Ketris. Ketris is used for a lot of stuff. Plus its boost ratio helps it upscale, whereas World Breaker can't really upscale. You can do low-level delves and maybe slightly get away with mid-level delves, and it can do PvP and stuff like that. Other than those areas, it doesn't really do much. How's the key farming been? We're up to 7 vault keys. Not sure if we're going to get any higher than that, though. But we almost reached 25,000 gems. Well, technically we did, but then we spent 50 gems on the diamonds today, as we do every Friday. I mean, every Sunday. Do we take yours? Let's take the red, get a World Breaker rolling. That going. Throw that on Yagway because he's the most annoying thing on the opposing team. That's the other slightly good thing about this team too. Even though it's oriented towards an AoE team, it can focus down troops, which is nice. Whatever the biggest threat is, you can actually focus down with Bronze Arc Pistol. If you want to go down that route. Though this team is really bad against Yagway because your 2 most important troops are right up front for him to hit. I think it should be fine though. Throw a poke right there. And then World Breaker to win. Almost dead, but still enough to win. And any poke kills. And that's a poke. How many diamonds do I have? Enough to craft almost 12 mythics. Some kind of absurd number. We basically have a year's worth of diamonds. Unless they add something else to use them on. But yes, we currently have... actually, it would be easier seeing it this way. We currently have... math time. What on earth is this number? We currently have 4,677 gems is how many we have. And that is enough to craft 11.5 mythics. So yeah, we have a lot of mythics that we could craft. That is for sure. 11.5. A little bit more than 11.5 actually. In about another month, that should be 12. Anyways, let's keep finishing out PvP. We get some gnomes along the way. Haven't really been getting too many, but of course PvP does win at a slower rate. Even if doing the slightly lower battles. Too bad I don't currently have a daily task for it. We did yesterday, not today though. There are people that have more resources than me by quite a large margin. Mine is a bit lower than quite a few other like ultra endgame players, just because they don't have to go and get everything immediately. Like realistically, people would be using their diamonds to craft like this useless mythic that's coming out this Friday, rather than getting it immediately. But in order for me to show it for videos and stuff, I have to get it immediately. And I've been having to do that for all various content, which in the past used to eat up way more resources than it should have. Because, for example, when New Kingdoms came out, I had to get all the troops on Friday rather than waiting 3 days and just getting it really easily off of event keys. That used to waste a lot of my resources. Luckily, I don't need to do that anymore, but I still have to waste them on useless mythics and stuff like that, just to show it for videos and stuff. Whereas the average endgame player doesn't have to do that. Most realistically, a person is just going to see the next mythic, see how horrifically bad it is, decide not to craft it because the kingdom even already has a mythic in it as well, and then simply go and wait until it's in Soulforge and craft it for free off of diamonds, rather than using hundreds of thousands of keys for it. Yes, I have farmed pretty much all the resources that are associated with this account. I've spent a couple $100 on this account, but other than that, it's pretty much all been farmed. There's also been a few times where the devs have given some resources for various videos, but I haven't done that for almost a year and a half now. And that was mostly because the rate at which, like I was mentioning, in order for us to be able to open or get certain pieces of loot, we have to waste a ridiculously high amount of resources in order to keep up with the old curve of the game. Though in the current curve of the game, it works a lot easier to keep up with that. Let's see, we'll throw that explosion down. And then we sword breaker to ward breaker to ward breaker. Unless the HP buffs, in which case we'll need a fourth one. We could actually die here. That's not good. Take the explosion. That better die. Oh no! If that kills us, of all things. Okay, good. I completely missed. Could be fine now. He has no damage source at this point. The only thing we could really die to is a couple skulls, as I give him a skull. But nope, he doesn't go for it. That's good. I also need 2 more ward breakers, and that'll be match. For Leprechaun for full mana. Actually, could just wait for yellow. Also works. There we go. And 1 more hit will kill it. And it's dead. Barely though. Hey, we got a slime. I'll need to go do that. I've been needing to do all the pets. Also, if I'm not mistaken, I don't even have that pet to max copies, so it would work out even better. How does random work in this game? Is there some kind of counter or online time or kingdoms drop rate is different? I'm not sure what you mean by that. But Tradestone rate should be random if that's what you're referring to with that. All kingdom rates for exploring everything are completely random. Might not seem like it, but at times, but it is just completely random. Or, you know, it's the same random rate for all of them, I mean. Like, no kingdoms have different rates. Let's see. Hello, Chongi. Welcome. Finally able to catch me live? Well, that's good. Glad you can finally join us. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in chat. What are you currently, or what is that? Let's see. What are you currently liking about the Switch version? Is that you have different classes for each team? Wait, what? Oh, disliking. I was gonna say, why are you liking that? But yeah, unfortunately, the Nintendo Switch version is still running with the previous version of the class events, or not the class event, but the previous version of how classes used to work back before they changed it several months back. And they might not be changing it for a little while now. I'm not sure when we're getting the first patch on Nintendo Switch, but it has not gotten a single patch since release, and it's been 2 months in now or so. And we still have not seen a single patch yet. But hopefully we will soon. But yeah, there's no announcement yet on the one that will be happening. They do have a Q&A soon, so hopefully they'll answer something during that on the Nintendo Switch version. Because someone's bound to ask. If I remember, I'll make sure to ask as well. But I'm not sure exactly when Nintendo Switch is getting its first patch. They're definitely going to be updating it less often than the other versions, it seems, at least initially. Until it gets caught up. But we don't really know when they're planning on doing that, getting it caught up. Okay, we'll go for another bronze lock. Throw it into the one that has submerge, actually, because that's going to live the longest, because we can't hit it with ward breaker. And there it is, surviving. And we see that's a bronze lock, and that should be dead. And skull poke. Oh yeah, Tesla is pretty good in the raid event this week. We were already finished that with a while. Did I claim the last orb of it? I believe I did. Yeah, we've been finished with that since about Thursday, I believe. And I'm not trying for leaderboard, so I don't need to go any further. Yeah, we already finished it. Tech support is the title. I didn't even look at the title earlier. That's funny. But yeah, Tesla can almost solo those battles. She's so strong with how she upscales based on armor. Okay, 2 more PvP tiers. And I'm gonna go explore a little bit. Actually, I should probably go do the pet as well. Don't want to miss out on that. We need to grind it out. Also, if I'm not mistaken, don't we need more copies of this thing? Should have like almost no copies. Yeah, if we get 2 more, we can even upgrade it, assuming we even have enough food, which is in question these days because that's one of the reasons why we're even farming it to begin with. We need more food. Oh, what am I doing? I'm like clicking every location except where I need to go. Go over here and kill this out. How hard is it to create a new guild these days? Decently hard. The biggest part being trying to find 30 people. Or 29 people, I guess. It is generally pretty hard. Also, your guild for stuff like guild wars and stuff will be at disadvantage for about 6 months or so. Which makes it pretty discouraging to bother building a new guild. But in the current state of the game, I honestly would not bother trying to build a new guild. There are already so many people trying to recruit for guilds and stuff that we don't really need more. And even throughout all this, the game just keeps getting more and more guilds. And every single guild a person makes requires 30 more people. Or at least 29. Rather than just putting more people into a single guild. But you know, you can still do it if you want. It just takes a lot of work to build it up. And you would at least want to have at least, like, 5 other dedicated people, if not more, who are going to join you with it. Otherwise, it's not really worth it. Yeah, it's not worth the effort. It is definitely not worth the effort. Even my own guild, I don't bother managing anymore. Or I still do some recruiting and stuff, but I have someone else in charge of that now. Just because it gets really tiring after a while. It's fun at first, but after doing it for like a year, 2 years, even longer, yeah, someone else can go do it. It's only fun initially, that's for sure. Until it becomes more of a burden. Most annoying part is trying to recruit people, though. More so than anything. Yeah, we get our explosion there. And then we stick that into Ward Breaker, and that's pretty much match. That into double poke. And he's dead. And one more PvP tier, and then we get back to explore for a little bit. Didn't get any gems from all this, though, yet. Okay, that's not going to be enough mana, so I'm just going to go for Ward Breaker, and then we can do Bronze Lock, because now it's enough. We'll go and hit Yagway, because he's the biggest threat. We know he's a slightly lower level, dual threat. Also, thank you, Ling Jan Lan, for the subscribe. Much appreciated. It was like 5 minutes ago, but I didn't see the notification thingy. Let's see. We'll get our explosion, get a Ward Breaker, and he's dead. Should you set your first team as PvP defense? Is that what the game will take as your first by default? Your PvP defend, you don't really need to worry about. The way that PvP defends currently function, it's actually best to have the weakest possible team you could possibly set on your defends. So there's really no point in setting something strong. That's why you see a lot of teams that are like this. It's actually more beneficial to have a ridiculously bad team like that than it is to actually have a good team. And the main reason for that is losing a battle actually gives you more loot than winning a battle due to how revenge battles work. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever, but that is the current format of PvP. Guild Wars, you want to make sure you set good defend teams. But for standard PvP in the current state of the game, unless you're trying for a leaderboard for whatever reason, you generally just set the weakest possible team you can. And you can set any of your teams. It doesn't necessarily have to be your first one. You normally just name a team your defend team or something, and then just set that as your defend team. Keep that as it. Well, as far as setting up your defend teams for Guild Wars, the main thing you want to make sure is that every single troop is unique. Even if you set the worst possible teams you've ever seen, As long as all 24 troops are unique, you will get the maximum amount of points. Ideally, you'll want to make those teams strong, just so the enemies don't win as much. But as long as they're unique, it doesn't matter how weak they are, you will gain the full amount of points for having them as unique. It's 2,000 points per day that you have them as unique. The defense win-losses affect your PvP ranking. It does have some effect on your matchmaking, though if you're losing a bunch, that's actually beneficial, because it's going to make your matchmaking more favorable. And the main reason it affects it is because, for whatever reason, it does look at win rate, but for whatever reason, your defense actually count towards your win rate in PvP. So if you're constantly losing your defense, it actually gives you easier opponents, because it counts as if you lost a PvP battle, essentially. And the more you lose, the easier opponents you get. There's a lot of factors that determine your opponents, though, in PvP, but that is one of them. There's so many benefits in normal PvP to setting a bad defense team. It's kind of funny. There we go, exactly on the dot, 1.9k. I'll go grab that. I'm actually surprised it didn't already have that done, but obviously it doesn't take that long. Anyways, back to Explore. We still need 40 gems, though. I'm not sure if we're going to get it unless we're just going to get a vault key, really luckily. I'll go grind a little bit more, and then we'll probably switch over to the Nintendo Switch account. Main thing I want to go do when we switch over to that is the invasions. I still haven't done invasions yet. Maybe finish up some of PvP and get the rest done off stream, and go from there. Also, it is Vault event currently on Nintendo Switch as well. I believe they finally have aligned up the Vault event days to be on the same times. Not fully certain if they have, but they are running simultaneous this time around. Which means, unfortunately, I can't go grind it on the other account, because it's much more important to get it grinded on this account. In Guild Wars, does the hero weapon have to be different for each team? Yes. You can use the same hero class, but you cannot use the same weapon. Weapon has to be unique, but hero class can be the same. So you can run Titan on all 6, but you have to use a different weapon for each. But yes, hero weapon has to be different. Hero class can be the same. Oh, whoop, whoop, whoop. Oh, good thing I misclicked. I almost gave him an extra turn. Not like what it mattered much, but there we go. Also, we should almost have enough brown greens now that we can stop farming this kingdom. Let's see. Can you have the same cards as defense team right now as your attack team? Yes. What you use for invading during Guild Wars has no effect on your defense. So you can use the same troops and it still counts as unique for your defense. The only thing that matters when you're doing the invasion part of it is you want to ideally use as many of the same color as possible. So if it's currently a blue Guild War day, you ideally want to use 3 or 4 blue troops on your team. Ideally 4, but if you can't do 4, then trying to do at least 3 will be good. But they can repeat when you're doing it for invasions. You can literally use 4 of the exact same troop and you will not be penalized for invasions. But if you do the same on your defend, you will be penalized for it. Oh, you finally got Zugoff. Nice. Zugoff is mainly only... It's not really used for anything other than Delves. However, it is insanely good at Delves. The most noteworthy team in the entire game that it is used for is delving with the team of Mountain Crushers that is Titan or anything similar, followed by Iron Gut, Zugoff, and Possessed King. It's the strongest it's the strongest delve team in the entire game, which is somewhat relevant because it can solo pretty much around 75% of delves, somewhere around there. It's like a ridiculously high amount of delves it can be used for. That is one of the only main purposes for Zugoff. Even though it got buffed, it's not really good enough for PvP. You can still use it for PvP if you wanted to, but it's definitely not the best of options. So the only thing it really gets used for is normally occasionally Tower of Doom, and mostly for delves, because nothing in delves has immune to instant kill, whereas Tower of Doom has it slightly. Every delve that has red, blue, or purple as an option, Zugaf is meta for that faction, for the higher levels, for like level 200 plus, all the way to 500. That's about the only thing it's really used for. Yes, so if you have a troop that is blue-red, you can use it to invade on both the blue day and the red day without getting penalized. However, if you set it on your defend team on both days, you will get penalized. But keep in mind, your color teams, or your teams for those days, do not need to be all the same color. So for yellow day, your defend does not need to use any yellows if you don't want, or you could just use 1 or 2 or whatever amount. It only matters if they're unique. But when you're invading, it matters that they are all unique. I mean, it matters that they are all the same color of the day, because you get more points that way. Yes, you can use weapons on defense, but you get penalized if you overlap the same weapon. But you don't get penalized if you overlap the same hero class. So they could all be Titan, but you would need to make sure that they're a different weapon for each one. Also, I'm going to slightly cheat it. We're going to get 25,000 gems one way or another. Let's open some gold keys. We're going to cheat it with gold keys. Let's see. We have so many gold keys right now that I might as well go eat them down to like 85,000 or something. I think we only need like 50,000 if a new kingdom ever comes into the game. Probably don't even need that many. Too bad there's no way to actually track how many gems you currently have on this page. It only shows your gold. You have no clue how many gems we're actually getting from this. How many do we currently have? Is that enough? Hey, we did it! Reached 25,000 gems! Not exactly the way I wanted to reach it, but hey, it works. There we go, we reached it. Anyways, let me keep going until we find one more gnome, and then I'll probably switch over to the Nintendo Switch version. We'll hand out a redeem code and switch over to Nintendo. Oh, that was quick. Well, hopefully this is a vault key. Come on, 8 vault keys. We're currently only at 7. So 1,000 glory would also be fine. It's basically like a vault key. I've gotten that about a dozen times this weekend, so that's still decent. Let's see. What do we have? 500 glory. Still okay. Not the worst it drops to get as our final drop. Still pretty decent. But anyways, let's go hand out a code and head over to the other thing. Also, that reminds me, I need to go ask Salty for more codes. I only have 3 left, or 4 left actually after this. Which won't last us long. That'll last us to, like, Wednesday. Let's see. Copy, paste. Put that over here. And since she's streaming tomorrow night, I could just spam remind her at the end. Just to make sure she doesn't forget again. Because she did last time. And there you guys go. When did I start Gems of War? Pretty much when the game first came out, which was 4.5 years ago. November of 2014, I believe it was, right? Yeah, late November 2014. So pretty much since the game launched. It's almost been 5 years now. But there you guys go. There's the redeem code. You use it on gemsofwar.com underneath the game code section. Your redeem code is found, or your invite code, I mean, is found underneath your settings menu, whatever your game says there. Redeem code is right over there in chat. Just copy paste random numbers and letters, and gives the same reward as always. 2 treasure maps, 1 gem key, 200 souls, and 2,500 gold. There we go. Okay, next order of business. Let's go start up the Nintendo Switch and go do everything I need to go do on that account, or at least some of it. At least the more interesting pieces of it. The ones that are slightly less grindy. But mainly invasions and whatever else we need to get done. Was it invasions or raid? I don't remember. I think it was invasions. That's one of the reasons I even need to do it, because you need to do invasions up to the end in order to get the orb and a bunch of gems. It gives like 85 gems in an orb or something. Okay, if it'll ever start. Come on, there it goes. And then we'll bring that up on screen. Where'd it go? There it is. Okay, let me just go change the thingy thing. Let me go close this out since we're not going to need that anymore. Go bring up the TV screen. And there we go. Anyways. Oh, let me go move this over now that we have more room. Okay. Also, let me move the mic over some so it's not as annoying. It still kind of blocks the screen. It should be fine now. It only blocks my bottom left troop. Okay, so we got a pet. I don't think we're going to need it at the moment. Haven't really been grinding pets much on this account. Let's see. We'll grab all that. Most of these keys I'm saving for this Friday. However, gold keys we can go open right now. Got done doing a bunch of them on our main account. I'll do some on this. We do need to start grinding some more gold soon. We're really low on gold. And we need to do 500,000 per week now. Haven't been doing an excessively high amount of PvP, which is where you get a good majority of your gold. They'll open those glory keys later this Friday will probably help some. Oh yeah, let me repick one of these tasks. Well, we're doing some PvP, so we don't want to repick that one. Repick this one for now. Oh, use 3 gem keys. Well, I guess we're opening 3 gem keys real quick. Change of plan. Looks like we are opening some. Nothing. Another nothing, but at least we could use that for some trading. And there's our 10 gems with another nothing. Well, at least we got 10 gems. Oh yeah, what was the event objective? I know we definitely did it on our main account. What was this one? We haven't even started yet. Kill, yellow, and explore. Oh, that doesn't take long. We can get that done in like an hour or so. I'm not gonna do that on stream though. That's one of those really grindy ones. But because this is the same thing over and over again. Though it is Vault event right now, so I guess this account is gonna do some Vault grinding. It does have Vault event this weekend, which still lasts for 6 more hours on all platforms. So yeah, I guess we are gonna get at least a few gnomes. I still do not have Cedric on this account. However, we do have a Vault key, so let's go see if we can get that. I think this Vault key was from the invasion this week, if I'm not mistaken. Let me go claim this real quick. Let me do it with early game version of Sunbird team, which is Mountain Crusher, Sunbird, Vawayne, and Leprechaun. But Leprechaun doesn't exist on this version, so you use Firebomb. This is one of those instances where Leprechaun actually would be better. But unfortunately, it doesn't exist on this version, so we can't. We'll throw that down. That'll kill everything pretty much. And then we just need to poke him one more time. And he's dead off anything. There we go. Come on, good loot. And even a Cedric at this point would be good loot. I still have 0 copies. Come on. No! Pet gnome! I don't need a pet gnome. That is useless. At least we got 3 event keys. Event keys are still useful. That's the only good drop we got there. That's a fail. Anyways, let's see. Let's go do invasions, I guess. Probably the main thing we need to go focus on. Get a bunch of trophies from that and all these rewards. Oh, we got a major orb too. Come on, purple or blue, or even orange wouldn't be too bad, as long as it's not green. Okay, good. Normally orange would be pretty bad, but we are still early game, mid game, actually more so mid game. So orange orbs are still extremely required, as it helps trait up troops, particularly mythics. And we do have some mythics, not many. I think we have 3 mythics currently, which isn't too bad. Some people don't get their first mythic until they're over level 1,000. We currently have 3. Well, that's not actually a mythic. But yeah, we have 3. Arachnean Weaver, which is insanely good. Champion of Anu, which is generally pretty bad, but it's pretty good for Blue Guild War Day. And Deaf, which is unfortunately pretty bad at the moment, unless they ever buff Deaf Mark. They needed to remove the 1-turn delay when you reapply Deaf Mark, and it would be decent. But in its current state, it's pretty bad for the most part. But this I use for Blue Days, and this is I use as my main mythic, because out of every mythic I have, that's the strongest one we have, is the Weaver. Anyways, let's go do invasions. I forget what we even have to do for the requirement. What team was I using? Oh yeah, I'm basically just using a Yagway team, because, or a really weird version of it, is because we're restricted to daemons for this event. So I'm using this team as our team for it. It's been working out decently. Mainly just rushing up Yagway and just kind of going from there, and that's kind of been the strategy for trying to get this done. And for these earlier battles, it's definitely been working out, that's for sure. It'll work on the later ones, I'm not sure, but I assume so. Anyways, we'll get that down. He'll poke us once, it's fine though. For another Yagway, hit the tower, and that should pretty much be dead. There we go. Yep, no problem, everyone, for the code. If anyone still has any other questions or anything you want me to go over, let me know. I'll make sure to do so. Okay, what do we need here? Let's grab the brown, grab the purple, grab another brown somehow. We'll take a blue into a brown drop, I guess. Didn't get it. I don't have a drop for it. Do I? No. So we'll just take the brown directly. Grab that, throw a Mountain Crusher, be good to go. Oh, I could take a red to brown as well. So we'll do that. Grab another mountain. And then we can Yagway into everything else. So we'll go and throw that right over there. Get all that rolling, and then we can throw that right into a Yagway. Because we have alignment in the bottom left. Throw that into some man. Oh, wait. Oh, whoops. Just grab that. Take the other one, and then Yagway into the hit. Never mind, we don't even need the other hit. There we go. Keep forgetting how much damage Yagway does. Yeah, I know. I still haven't gotten Queen Titania, unfortunately. I was lucky enough to get Yagway. If I'm not mistaken, I even have 2 copies of Yagway. But I still do not have Queen Titania. So I can't build the Queen Titania meta at the moment. The strongest team currently on Nintendo Switch, to my understanding, is Urska Crown as Titan. Followed by Yagway, Tapon, Queen Titania. But I'm currently missing the Queen Titania. However, once we get that, we have every component to make the best team in the game currently on Nintendo Switch. And it requires 0 mythics as well, which is nice. So it's somewhat accessible to people. Still can be hard to try to get both of them, though. Actually, I haven't been paying attention to Soulforge. If Queen Titania is there, I might just craft her. It's a little bit of a waste, but it's such a ridiculously good mythic that I kind of want it. Let me actually go double check. If Queen Titania is there, I'll craft it. She's there today or tomorrow. If she's not, I'm just going to wait till Friday, and we'll probably get her off of keys. But then again, I should probably just wait regardless just to get it off of keys. But how many tree stones do we even have? Oh, we do finally have enough to do a mythic. I should probably do a video soon going over mythics then. Since Nintendo Switch can finally start crafting mythics. Probably been possible for a couple days now. Let's see. Well, as far as mythics, what do we have? Any good first mythics? Well, technically it's our 4th mythic at this point. But there's Queen Aurora, Elamagrim, Plague, and where's the 4th? Plague, Elamagrim, Queen Aurora. Oh, Gargantor. I didn't see him because he's so useless here. He's invisible to me. But no, there's nothing good here. Yeah, none of them were worth crafting. Mars Guardian's an interesting one, but especially since we don't have Mirage Queen, it is required to give Sunbird half mana start. I'm not sure if it's really worth 800 diamonds though. We might even already have a copy of them. I'm not even sure. Do you actually have a copy of Forest Guardian? I don't recall. I hope we do. I should probably trade it if we do. Should probably use an orange orb on it. Because we're not getting Mirage Queen anytime soon on the Nintendo Switch version. I did not own her yet. It's so tempting to somewhat craft it. But we're not going to have enough damage for Sunbird to one-shot anyway, so I guess still using Sunbird Rowan is fine, since we don't have enough damage anyways. But yeah, normally in early game, like at this point, or in mid-game, you would just go and get Mirage Queen, but unfortunately, there is no Mirage Queen. If we go to Underworld, there's literally only 2 factions still. There's only All-Seeing Eye and Hall of Guardians. We don't even get the first faction event until 8 days and 5 hours. Oh, cool. So next faction event actually next week. Not like this week, or not this week, but the following week. We're actually going to get the first faction event ever on Nintendo Switch. But yeah, we haven't ever had a faction event yet on this version of the game. Curious to see how easy it'll be to get leaderboard. We'll have to see how that pans out. I haven't really done any of the factions yet for the most part. I haven't even been grinding it lately just because it's a little time consuming. Takes like 20 minutes out of a day to go and grind it out. Actually more towards 30. But yeah, we'll start working on factions slowly, I guess. Not really too big a deal. Factions don't really give you much of a benefit. You mainly just need those for those initial ingots, and that's about it. And to get all the troops upgraded from all the factions. Anyways, where was I? Let me go and do back to the event. Let's go finish out invasions. At least get that done, if nothing else. Okay, what do we take here? We'll grab that, get our Surge, throw our Mountain down, down to a bunch of manas, and then we just go Yagway into all that. Oh, wrong button. Do we have alignment? No. So, oops, wrong button again. And it was clear the board into Yagway. Oh, we do not have alignment on that. Let's take that. That'll give us the free extra turn. And then he dies off anything. There we go. Okay, next order of business. Grab those reds. Take a green, I guess. Start getting Yagway to full. Do you have alignment? Yes, you do, and we ought to win off of that. We don't have a follow-up alignment, but that's fine. We get some mana back from nothing else. Gotta deal with 2 towers now, but as soon as one of them gets close, we can just kill it. like right now. Eventually, we're not going to have enough damage for that, but currently we still do. And yeah, these are definitely really good to do. Invasion actually has one of the highest loot, if not the highest loot, of any of the weekly event thingies. Because not only do you get all those rewards off that table, but you also get around 85 gems through all the process, as well as an automatic orb at the end of its little thing. That's on top of the rewards that you would automatically be getting. Definitely some pretty solid loot. I guess technically Guild Wars could give higher though, but only if your guild was super high. Though on Nintendo Switch, our guild normally gets #1. We got it last week, and we're probably going to get it next Guild War as well. Get #1 overall on leaderboard for it. We haven't really had much trying to contest us yet. Even though there's like a few dozen active guilds, for whatever reason, we haven't really been contested much in Guild Wars. Despite the fact that they contest leaderboards in other locations of the game. Oh, what do we even take here? Well, it doesn't actually matter if my hero dies, so we'll go for that. Get it out, because he's dead anyways. And then we go to Yagway, and that should be dead. Oh, wow, the burn actually made it so we didn't die. Oh, never mind, we wouldn't have died anyways. We gained armor from using the weapon. I keep forgetting, every time we cast Mountain Crusher, we get 4 armor. Which doesn't seem like much, but we have almost, if we're within death range, that 4 armor technically saved us from dying to burn. I can move that over, grab that. Also, I currently have that set to Enrage. I probably could get a little bit better value if we set that to Explode right now. Not actually sure. If we don't really have an attack buff or anything to go into that. Like, if you're using Mang, it normally makes a little bit more sense to use Enrage. But since we're not likely to use Mang, we don't actually need the Enrage as much. I guess it still helps some. I'm just going to go for this even though it's a miss. But he has no red, so he can't really hit us back. Oh wait, it wasn't a miss. Never mind. For what I thought it was. But we'll go poke his final tower right there. Get like a... Oh, did I leave those there? Whoops. That's the only thing I find really annoying about playing on Nintendo Switch version. It is such a large screen. I'm so used to playing this game on smaller screens that seeing it on a gigantic TV makes it look a bit weird compared to how I normally play the game. Because whenever I'm streaming it, even though I'm on my PC, it's normally only takes up like the corner of my screen because I need everything else set up for the stream on my screen, since I only have one monitor technically. Because this monitor I use for the for what I'm using it for right now, for the Nintendo Switch. That is not Yagway alignment. Actually, even if it was, we don't have the mana for it. Actually, it is aligned, but I didn't have the mana. We'll go for that. I might as well just take a red at this point. But you know what? Does Explode also kill him? Yes, it does. Let me just Explode. Get Hellcat back up and do it that way. There we go. Okay, do we have Yagway? No. I'm not aligned. So what I'm going to do is do that. Now we should have alignment, and he's dead. And he just dies off of that thing. What's the PvP Megavore team you use? I wouldn't really advise using Megavore in PvP. If you were using it with Arachne Weaver is pretty solid. Something like Essence of Evil or Mountain Crusher into something followed by Megavore plus Arachne Weaver is a pretty solid combo. It's a combo I haven't been using as much lately, but it's still a pretty solid combo. And it's going to be available on Nintendo Switch, I believe, in 2 months from now? 2 or 3 months. The Megavore Arachne Weaver combo. Not the greatest in the game, especially if you're playing on any version that isn't Nintendo Switch. Well, for one, Megavore doesn't even exist on Nintendo Switch yet. But it's an okay combo. It's not the greatest, but it gets the job done. It's also good for mid-level delves. Low-level and mid-level. In the current state of the game, I would say it falls off by about level 300 factions. You can technically take it all the way, though it's pretty inconsistent if you do want to take it all the way, just because he has 8% chance to kill each time. Which in theory is really good in delves, but it's really random on if you get it or not. Like if you were trying to use Assassin Hero class, Like, he might have a 10% instant kill, but it's just so random if he gets it or not. And Megavore is the exact same way, except it's a little bit more consistent to get his, which is why it's 8% instead of 10. Oh yeah, seeing a lot of Tinas on defend is really annoying. The more spell reduction they keep adding to the game is just going to make Explore more and more annoying. It might start becoming so annoying that it might just be meta to do Explore to do challenges rather than Explore. Just because there's so many annoying things in Explore eventually that it might just be better to just do challenges. Challenges, even right now, still technically have a better, quicker rate than that of Explore. The only reason why Explore is slightly more desirable is it gives a guaranteed amount of gold per battle, and it also gives better trait stones overall. But if they ever add so many spell reduction troops that it basically makes almost every battle not get one-shotted, everyone's just going to switch over to challenges instead. Which will be a bit annoying because that will nerf how much resources we end up getting while doing gnome grinding. Though it still allow gnome grinding at the exact same rate that's currently available now. If anything, even slightly quicker. But it would overall reduce loot because of the lack of 400 gold per battle and the lack of slightly better trait stones. That doesn't make too big a difference, though. Over the course of an hour, let's see, if you do about 200 battles, that's what? How much gold are you missing? That's 80,000 gold you're missing. Though that does start adding up. Losing 80,000 gold per hour that you could have potentially had. That definitely starts adding up. That's not a too huge amount, I guess. You still get to get the full amount of gnomes. But at the current moment in time, it hasn't been too big a deal yet, I wouldn't say. It does noticeably slow down slightly, but not to a degree that it's, like, annoying yet. Though it might be in the future. If we start to get to the point where you have, like, a dozen troops that have 50% spell reduction, some mythic gaining, like, a 75% spell reduction, and a bunch of other troops having 25%, at that point, it'll probably be better just to do challenges rather than explore for gnome events. We probably won't need to worry about that for at least a couple months, if not longer. Also, we could try finding kingdoms that has a lower rate of finding those as well. And just farm those instead. And the only reason Tina keeps popping up so much as well is the week this week, the event week, is Adana. So Adana troops do show up a little bit more in Explore. And of course, Tina is one of those Adana troops. Why she seems so common this week, regardless of where you go to explore. Ah, he just ruined my board. I guess we do this, and then we can go and Yagway it. Unless he ruins it again. Really? Well, we still got a lot of mana, but he did ruin my alignment. It's unfortunate. There we go. And now he's poke him into another poke. And he's dead. Yeah, Tina does a lot of damage. It is really good at getting random kills as well. Because if all three of those hits hit you, if you're up against a similar stat Tina, it will kill you every time with 3 hits. Sometimes even with 2. Oops, I almost just converted that. That would have been a fail. That's what Yagway is supposed to do. Do we not have alignment anywhere else, really? Okay, fine, I'll use Mountain Crusher then. There we go. And it was kill it with that. There we go. Okay, anything I can do with that Yagway in yours? Not really. We'll move that over, take that one over. Grab a red to all those greens over there. Get a Yagway. We'll do a Mountain Crusher. Let's see. Can I get a Hellcat into that? Kind of. We'll do that there. That should be a line. Or not. Still not. Okay. Well, here. Let's take that mana. Wait till he does something, throw this at one of the towers and go from there. Still nothing. I guess we just throw a little mountain in there then. Still nothing. I just have to cast it just to get the damage out at this point. At least we're not going to miss this Hellcat. Unless he removes the entire board with extra turns. We'll throw that down. And it's dead. Of course, now we get alignment when we already pretty much won. There we go. A little late. Look at that. 20 gems. Just for doing this little tier thingy. Okay, let's take a green over there. Let all that drop down. Get another red. Start getting Yagway rolling. Need to kill that Valraven. Not sure if we're even going to need those extra sigils though. Oh, perfect alignment right there. Like 3 purples on the board, yet we're still able to get alignment off it. Always great when that happens for us. Of course, not great when it happens for the enemy. We'll throw that down, and that should pretty much be matched. Just throw it down, because the magic steal we keep stealing, it does keep increasing its damage by 8 each time. And one interesting thing about Yagway, unlike a few other troops, he does gain the boost ratio of his stat immediately. So he steals 4 magic twice, and that gets added to his ability immediately. So whatever his damage is, at minimum, after his boost ratio and everything, he's at minimum getting 8 additional damage, assuming there's 2 troops that still have magic left on the opposing team that he's hitting. Because that 8 does get calculated before the damage output of his ability. And of course those 8s keep stacking, so the next time you do it is basically 16 additional damage overall. It just keeps going up from there. Do I get rid of browns? I guess so. We don't really have anything else to use this on. And it does give us alignment, luckily. We'll do that, recast it. No alignment, but enough to do damage. And one more Yagway pretty much just wipes, so we'll just do that into that. Hopefully hits his bottom troop. Perfect, and he's dead. Almost dead. Now he's dead. I hate that the B button makes you go back. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Well, I guess it kind of does because he needed to kind of do it with 4 buttons. But I don't know. I wish they would have assigned a different button for that or something. Because the B button you need to press to tell the game to do that ability. But the B button also makes you go out of the menu. So if I click on this menu and click B, it'll make it go out. But if you like spam the B button, it's gonna bring you immediately out of the screen. Which is annoying. The other slight annoying thing is the fact that one of them's on A button. And A button will confirm the cast occasionally. So we could accidentally, if we multi-hit the A button, it'll try wasting its ability. I've been getting better at not doing that, but it still happens occasionally. Wait, where's Yagway's mana? Is there really no way to get him to full right now? I'll take the brown. Come on, Hellcat. You gotta have somewhere. There you go. Good. Throw that down. Okay, we're fine now. That in there. Get another Yagway if we can. Can I? Yes. For a free turn, too. Not enough to kill, though. But we'll take that, and then we just go Yagway to the final poke. Doesn't even matter if he extra turns. So it would be beneficial. It would save some time. We don't need it, though. Because that's the match. What is this? This is the Nintendo Switch version. Invasions on Nintendo Switch version. Hello, CJ! Welcome! Okay, what do we do here? We got a Valraven in first slot. That's annoying. Take that just to have that. I think I just throw this for the sake of damage. And I throw this again just for the sake of damage so he dies. There we go. Okay, we neutralize the threat now. I just have to kill out everything else. I'm not even sure why I'm so worried about the Valraven though. Probably not even going to need all those sigils. I could really use those epic battles that are coming in next patch to use our excess sigils that we don't need. Oops, I meant to use that on the bottom slot, but he has barrier fail. Flight fail. Okay, I'm gonna do this Hellcat and hope that we hit the bottom slot. That is not the one I wanted to hit. Yeah, smash. Just kill with the invasion troop. It's one of the better invasion troops too. I didn't bother trading it though, just because we're not gonna need it that long. But it is a pretty solid invasion troop. It gains in rage every single time it gets a kill. Really good in first slot. But since we don't have the perks on him, I'm just leaving him back there. Plus, I'm only keeping him at epic rarity. I'm not bothering to get him to mythic. Still haven't bothered doing that yet on this account. I don't think you would really bother doing that until late game at minimum. Well, you're still in mid game. I don't think you ever actually worry about upgrading those. There isn't really much of a point in doing it in mid game. Obviously, I do it every single time on my main account. But that's because we have the basically near infinite resources. So it doesn't really matter if we do. Plus, we need it for kingdom upgrades and everything. I don't think you would start doing that until at minimum late game, which is once you have every single kingdom to 5+ stars. Okay, we're just going to let him have that skull and then we cast. So we're going to do that just to make sure he dies out to this next hit. So we'll do that to get the kill. The other one will kill off our reds or that skull. That works too. Hellcat, do you have anywhere to go? Kind of. I guess we'll do it on reds. Not the most optimal color, but those out there. All those browns, because why not? No good Yagway. I might still go for it, though, just for damage. And now we just skull to cast, because we have it in rage, so this should be enough to kill the other one. And one skull kills now. Or Yagway. Yagway also kills. As long as it doesn't get full mana here, and dead. How many Vault Keys you end up with? 7 Vault Keys this weekend on my main account. How many we end up getting done? Could you imagine if Trickster Shots worked like Yagway's damage? Oh, if it actually boost ratioed beforehand, it would be the most broken weapon in the entire game if it did. Right now, it's currently around top 10, but it would be literal number 1 if it actually boost ratioed prior to its damage. The way that Trickster Shot works is it doesn't get its magic until after it does its damage and armor tier. Because it does its damage in order of true damage, then armor tier, then and that's it. And then the magic gain. It does the magic gain basically last rather than first. Unlike Yagway, which basically does it first. It's kind of weird that he actually does it first. I believe he's like one of the only instances where it actually does do it first before anything else. Like traits like arcanes and stuff do it too. I don't know, it's a weird mix of some troops doing it, some troops not doing it. Yagway's one of them that does, Trickster Shot is one of them that doesn't. Hello, Radial, welcome. Thank you for that, CJ. I've been meaning to use Discord more. We might eventually have my own Discord server. It's something that was brought up in the past. I just never really bothered getting around to it. I'm not even sure if I would want to, but I don't know. We will eventually. We will eventually. Okay, what do I even take? I just throw another mountain down. Hit that rolling, get like a Hellcat, kind of go from there. Let's see. I did not want to remove purple, even though that's the only thing we have extra turn on. We'll take that for now. And then throw Yagway and go from there. We'll do that, get rid of like yellow or something. Lose mana right back up. Then we'll lime it, but we just clear the board. And now we have alignment if he doesn't ruin it. And then we'll double cast and double free turn. Yeah, it's pretty much matched. Take that over, take the skull. Oops, I just took it the wrong way. Actually, I would have if that was a move there. Luckily, it wasn't. And he's dead as long as he doesn't get full mana. There we go. 3 more battles to go. These actually go pretty quick these days, though it is because we're using Yagway. He's one of the strongest troops on this version of the game. I guess even on the base version of the game, he's still pretty high up there, as far as how good he is. Well, on Switch version, he's probably like top 5 right now. Just because there's not too many good, like really high damage source mythics out there. But even on the base version of the game, something like Flamefer into Titan with Yagway, Tapon, Queen of Tanya is still pretty high up there. I still use it for my Brown Defend day as well, for Guild Wars. And people even use it for normal defense. Some people might even use it for PvP. I personally don't care for the team as much from an invasion standpoint, but it's still fun to use on occasion. I just hate using it as like my main PvP team. Just because it has a little bit of a weird playstyle. it's extremely dependent on purple to red alignment, as well as on there being 13 plus reds on the board. Okay, 2 more battles. Okay, what do we even take here? I guess we'll take brown, get that, get our barrier. Also, I haven't bothered leveling any hero class on Nintendo Switch other than Titan. Mainly because there's not really much of a need to. This version of the game has none of the other good hero classes. It doesn't have Plague Lord, it doesn't have Thief, it doesn't have Frost Mage. Pretty much anything that's in top 5, aside from Titan, it does not have currently. I forgot about the next hero classes on this version of the game. I believe it's useless. And I believe it's some useless hero class, and then I believe it's Thief after that. So hopefully we get a good one soon then, because Thief would bring Skeleton Key into this game, which if we could own a Cedric by then will be really, really strong, because then Key meta comes into the game. Okay, what do I even grab here? Get a hit right over there. Get a Yagway on it. And now we just need a mountain. Actually, you know what? I'm going to take that skull. He's so close to full mana that might as well. We're not going to get a Yagway out for that. Unless we got an extra turn off the Cascade, which we didn't. Yeah, we'll take our yellow. I have no alignment for our casts. Do I just take a skull? Probably. I just hope that we get alignment on the reds. Which we don't, but we just get rid of his barrier off a mountain and then poke him with the Yagway or something. And a smash. We killed him off a red, of all things. A 3 life steal off the red. Also, there's still that weird glitch where after Yagway's ability, it does like that lag. I should probably report that. I have in the past, but then they didn't fix it, but it is a beta right now. So I could see if they could fix that. I almost completely forgot about that glitch. Actually, I'll probably need to test it on version 4.4. Maybe they have fixed it already. But for whatever reason, I feel like they haven't fixed it yet. There's a few traits that, for whatever reason, if you kill an enemy with true damage off your trait, it makes the game lag and like still play out the battle as if it's still going, kind of, while also doing the end screen. And it makes it lag for like an extra second or two, while doing a bunch of animations as if the game was still going. Like, I'm gonna get rid of purple, I think. Kind of a waste. I don't know. You know what? Let's do it on brown. Actually, every color we have as an option is awful. Okay, fine. We'll do it on brown. And it's just because I want to keep alignment. There we go. Okay. What else we need? Let's just grab mountain. Get all the mana we need from that. Hopefully get Yagway to full. Not quite. What else we need? Grab a red right over there. Let's focus with skull. Not aligned or anything. I'm actually gonna take a skull here just because we can kill it with Yagway and then kill the other one off of actually no, I won't even do that. I'll do that. Go that all the way with that. Take another skull. Actually no, I won't take the skull. I'll do this. Oh, you know what? I could have killed him with the other ability. But now I can just kill him with reds. Red death. Okay, and then we just do that into what should be dead. Apparently that's not enough damage. I keep forgetting how ridiculously little damage that does at epic rarity. Okay, and then we just kill it with Yagway. With his 1 HP. Oh no, we'll just get it with a red kill. As you can see, the animations are still going. That's been a glitch that's been around for a while. They still haven't fixed it. It's mostly visual, but it does waste like a second or so. Makes it annoying. Was that all of it? I believe that was all of it. There we go. We have completed evasions, kind of. Not really. Let's see. Where does that actually place us in the guild? Just doing the absolute bare minimum. Bare minimum got us to only 26. That's a fail. Yeah, that's the bare minimum for invasions that you should ever do. I'll do probably a little bit more later. See what other requirements we still need to face. Probably still need to do PvP, but I'll probably do all that off stream. There's the rest of our gems and whatever this orb is. And we get a useless green, of course. Why would it be anything good? Let's see, what's our current orb state at the moment anyways? Let's go to this, check our orbs. Currently, we have 8 small greens, 4 big greens, 2 small blues, 1 big blue, 8 small oranges. Wow, we have a lot of oranges. I need to start using some of those. Saves a lot of time from having to trait stuff. About 8 small oranges, 5 big oranges, and oddly enough, 3 power orbs that we got back when leaderboards were ridiculously easy to do. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get 8. That would have been amazing if we could have gotten 8 within like a month or so. But we still have 3, so we're almost halfway to a Zugoff, even though we're not even over level 1000, which is still pretty cool. So yeah, we could actually have Zugoff in under a year on this account, potentially. So we'll see how that goes. But anyways, guys, does anyone else have any other questions? Oh, what's a good team for Yasmin's Chosen? Pretty much anything with Green Seer. You just feed it greens and then just kind of spam from there. I wouldn't really advise it because Wild Queen and stuff is better, but if you truly had to build something out of it, normally something like Web Spinner, Hero was something, Green Seer, and Yasmin's Chosen. Something along the lines of that is what you normally roll with it. Something like Essence of Evil or like a Mountain Crusher or something else to fill the last bit of mana that you need or anything like that. But yeah, Yasmin's Chosen is pretty underwhelming. I would even say it's below the average now. At one point, I would have said it's above the average half of Mythics. But these days, I'd probably say it's below average. Though it is required for +1 attack off of Pan's Veil. Or not Pan's Veil, I mean Forest of Thorns. Wait, where's Yasmin's Chosen even from? It's Forest of Thorns, right? Pretty sure it's Forest of Thorns. But it is required to get Forest of Thorns to 10+ stars. But other than that, it is basically not that good these days. You might occasionally use it on Green Guild War, and that is about it for the most part. PvP, there's better stuff for it than it. And yeah, and for Tower of Doom, it wouldn't work that well in upscaling to the higher levels. It would only really be good for Green Guild War Day, and that is pretty much it. And even in that case, Yasmin's Chosen would still be better. Or sorry, not Yasmin's Chosen. I mean, Wild Queen would be better than Yasmin's Chosen. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for stopping by. I'll be back tomorrow, same time as always, streaming for about the same amount of time as well. 1.5 hours prior to now tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And yeah, we'll go from there and see how things go. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for stopping by. Hope you all have the good rest of your weekend and the good last few hours of the Gnome event, if you're going to bother grinding it out. And I will see all of you tomorrow night and go over the events and everything for tomorrow. But anyways, guys, catch you later. And goodbye, everyone.